Hi, I'm Drake and welcome to another day on Dartmoor. And today I wanted to talk to you about willows. And the reason I want to talk to you about willows are many and various because there's so many great things that you can derive from willow. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic plant. But before we get into any of that, what I want to talk to you about is the fun aspect of it. And at this time of year, because everything's starting to come into bud, it's a really, really great time to take cuttings from your willow trees. And there are many, many different kinds of willow tree out there. There's osier willows, there's goat willows, there's white willows. I've got some here, which is a wonderful one for me, which I've just started growing, which is a Japanese red willow. And so there's lots of different varieties out there. And what's fun, and I don't know if you've done this as a kid, but it certainly was one of my things to do as a kid, was to collect willow. I'd cut bits off and put them in a vase at home. And I did that because I wanted to see this. So these are all the wonderful little downy catkins that are produced by willow. And they're commonly known as pussy willow. But these are just a delight. And if you get, so this is a cutting, so if you get a cutting like this and plonk it in some water, then within, maybe two weeks, 3 weeks, these are some that I did 3 weeks ago, you get lots of roots, wonderful, wonderful roots. And then from that, you've got a new plant. So I've been just potting up some now, and I'm actually going to clump a few of these together because I want to create a plant that's going to be really nice and bushy. And this is a Japanese red willow. And the osier willow, I took some just now. So here's some osier willow. And osier willow, exactly the same thing. You pop this in water, put it in a vase at home. You can enjoy the catkins coming out and then the leaves, and then you'll have loads of little roots, and you can plant them out, you can pot them up, you can do whatever you want. Now willow, osier willow in particular, they like water, so work better in wetter areas. They're a super plant because they're really good at absorbing some of the heavy metals, so they're really good at dealing with any pollution that happens to be in the land, so they're really great for that. Willow, another really great thing about willow, which you may or may not know about, is it's kind of nature's aspirin. And if you use the bark of willow, you can produce a active compound called salicin, which is basically a very, very good pain relief. And one of the things I've noticed here on our land is that we've got sheep here, and some of them are a bit elderly. And now what we do, especially during the summer, but even this time of year, is that we'll cut some of our willow and we'll put it out for them. And those who have like a kind of joint pains or joint problems with the sheep, they go for the willow like nobody's business. And for us, it's really clear to us that the sheep know that this is good stuff. This is pain relief. And if sheep know that, then perhaps we could learn from that. So it's free. You could make it yourself. But yeah, anyway, so that's another one of the qualities of willow. And then the other fun qualities of willow is you can make things with it. And it's wonderfully flexible stuff, especially when you've soaked it in water overnight or over a couple of nights. And you can make baskets with it. You can even just, if I planted this in the ground now, and really with this weather this time of year, you can just stick it in the ground and it will root. But if I put it in water, then allow the roots to grow, then stick it in the ground like this, it'll grow nice, long and straight. And then I can cut that, harvest it, and use it for growing, growing beans up. I can make trellises from it. So it's very, very useful in that regard. I use willow as well when I'm making garland rounds for hanging up on the front door over the holidays. So lots and lots of ways in which you can collaborate with willow to make amazing things. So this is willow, wonderful, wonderful stuff. And when you're cutting willow, It's a very forgiving plant, so you don't need to really think exactly where you're cutting it, but get the tips of them. And if you want it to be a bushier plant, then once it's actually started forming its roots, like this one has, and you can do it on the Aussie willow as well as on the red willow. Just cut back a few points on here, and it will cause all the little shoots like this to spring up just below where you cut. So in that regard, you'll end up with a really bushy plant. So there's lots of options in which you can grow your plants in many different ways. And so that was a little bit of a speedy presentation, but it's a great one for kids, this, by the way, because you get to see results really quickly. A couple of weeks, you get to enjoy the catkins, you get to enjoy the new leaves coming, and when you take them out of the water, you get to see all the roots. So it's a really great one for kids. They can see how a plant grows, how its roots form. So it's a fun thing for kids as well. So I encourage that. So that's it for me for today. And it just remains for me to say thank you for your listening. And I hope you have a really great day. And bye-bye for now.